Hey guys, what's up? This is Matthew Davis Me. Once again, welcome back to another game review. Remember when I said that I wanted to review a lot more games that I've already finished? Because there are a bunch that I have already finished that I actually do want to review, and this was one of them, but I wasn't quite sure yet. Because if I reviewed this game, then that would mean I would have to review the next, and the next, and the next, and the next. But anyways, of course, my review is going to be for Metal Gear Solid, the first game. This actually isn't the first game in the series. No, there are actually two other games on the NES, titled Metal Gear, Metal Gear 2. This is the jump into 3D, and people declare this to be the best in the series. But because this game is so popular, Metal Gear Solid became a franchise of its own. We got Metal Gear Solid 2, 3. 2 I haven't finished yet. I don't even think I'm halfway through with it yet. 3 I have beaten, haven't played Peace Walker. I have beaten Metal Gear Solid 4. Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance, terrible title, but really great game. I have beaten it, by the way. The final boss is tough, but I was able to beat it. And of course, Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, which I'm not even close to beating yet. I think my old Xbox One doesn't even work anymore, so if I were to play the game again, I would have to replay it on my Xbox One S, which will take a hell of a long time. It might be like half of the game is finished of this game, but you know, I still have a lot more content to get past. But I am a fan of these games. I love this franchise, and it's a shame because, you know, Hideo Kojima, the creators of the game, was fired from Konami. And that's the reason why this game wasn't finished. It was a great game, but it could have been a full-out masterpiece, but you know, it is very flawed. But I still think this is an amazing game. It's a beautiful game, but you know, without Hideo Kojima, we got games like Metal Gear Survive. But anyways, I'm wasting a lot of time. Let me talk about the first game. So the first game, of course, you know, is where the cinema started. You know, the cinematic event started. You play a Solid Snake. There's voice acting. Everything is three-dimensional now. Unlike most cover shooters, in this game you have to go through stealth. Stealth is the key in this game. Sure, once in a while when you fight bosses, you don't fully have to use stealth. And you really got to be careful because there are a lot of hidden, like, landmines that can just blow you up instantly, and it is like absolutely crazy. But what makes this game so memorable is not just because of its story, but its cinematic, well, yeah, because of its story, but it's really cinematic gameplay, okay? And that's easily my favorite thing about this game, is that for a PlayStation 1 game, it feels so cinematic and just feels so excellently well done. And the controls are just so fluent. It's a game that makes you feel like you're watching an interactive movie. Like, this was truly the start of cinematic gaming. I mean, sure, Final Fantasy 3/6 for the SNES technically was, but, you know, this is where the voice acting came in. And you got all these characters that, even the bosses are really memorable characters. They don't just make for great bosses, they just make for interesting, you know, NPCs. Including my favorite boss throughout the entire game is, of course, Psycho Mantis, who manages to break the fourth wall and requires you to put your regular controller into the second port so he can't read your data, so it'll be easier for you to fight him. This game definitely isn't easy. Like, even on easy mode, I died so many times. It was a real pain. And once in a while, you do have to backtrack a lot. And there's a certain thing you have to get, and you have to make sure that it stays cold. And if there's like a card you get, you have to make sure it stays cold so you can go all the way back. If it's not cold anymore, then you have to go all the way back. It's kind of a pain, but you know, for a PlayStation 1 game, that's kind of acceptable. And of course, you know, the facial expressions are pretty creepy. When they talk, the mouths don't move at all. But it's forgiving, given the fact that it's a PS1 game. And, you know, we haven't really got a full remaster of this game. We do have a remake called Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes, which I heard is pretty good, but not as good as the original Metal Gear Solid game. But, you know, all in all, the original Metal Gear Solid is such a classic. It's true cinematic gameplay, and it's really creative on bosses, and really unique weapons make this game a must-play and a must-own for any PS1 owner, okay? I had a great time trying to beat this game, and it took me a long time to try and beat this game. Sure, it's like 10 hours long total, but the game is really difficult, and it doesn't really hold your hand that much. Like, there are certain stuff that you have to do, like, sometimes this game does require, you know, a lookup on the internet, so you'll fully know what to do throughout your adventure, because if you do this, you know, without any help, it's gonna be quite a pain, but you know, it's still an incredible game. I mean, for PS1 graphics, they look really good. I mean, they are definitely dated today, but you know, it's acceptable because, you know, with its great story, its great characters, its reliance on stealth, more on stealth and less on shooting. Usually I suck at stealth games. And especially when it comes to, you know, full-out combat games and stealth sections, I know that in this game you do have to do stealth because it is a stealth game. Then it's the best stealth game ever made, and it gave birth to one of my favorite video game franchises of all time. I love cinema, I love games like this, and it gave birth to, like I said, one of my all-time favorite video game franchises. My favorite in the series has to be Metal Gear Solid 3. But this would definitely have to be second best, and it's easily my favorite PlayStation 1 exclusive game of all time. Sure, I did mention that it's kind of dated for the graphics and all that, but you know, for when it came out, even though I wasn't born yet, I'm going to give Metal Gear Solid a perfect score. It's not a perfect game. Sure, sometimes perfection doesn't really mean perfection when it comes to my score. I just want to, I don't know why. Maybe I might change it to something different, like outstanding or something. But this is one of my favorite games of the 90s, but not quite my favorite game of 1998. That would have to go to another console exclusive that also jumped to 3D. You guys probably already know what that is. I don't need to say it. But I want to review more games soon. Like, there's a lot more that I've already beaten, but, you know, it just depends. I got work and I got movies to see, but yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.